talent that he saw in his students, and the result was 13 students passing the calculus AP exam. So I think that's very important, besides just the inspiration that you get out of it, the realizing that this is a person who's creating this environment of autonomy for East LA and for Garfield High School.
I think, talking from personal experience, the teachers are out there. They are motivating the students. They are giving the students something to look forward to, something, a bright future. And so they are out there, and they motivate their students, and especially Hispanic students, to succeed in life.
Do you think that there's a turnaround in the way students are looking at school, Hispanic students?
I think movies such as Stand and Deliver can hopefully turn around the attitude of students. I question whether the problem is the attitude or whether it starts at a much early age where the students don't have the attitude. And the reason I say that is many Hispanic students tend to get lost in the educational system at a very early age. And I think in addition to hopefully allocating more funds for education for programs such as Head Start, you need more teachers like Jaime Escalante, and you need dedicated parents. So the answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's more the movie is important, yes, but more important is the people are the people that really motivate the students, that tell them, yes, you can do it. You are a winner, like Jaime says.
Let me ask you this. Do you think the negative publicity about high school dropouts, is that creating a negative image for Hispanics?
Yeah, many times it is, because kids say, oh, you know, they just think of us as dropouts, you know, they don't care, you know, we might as well drop out, go, you know, go work or not. They don't see their future.
The potential is there to have this negative image result, but nevertheless, we can't ignore the issue. It's as though I was saying that racism exists in America, so it's better not to address racism because it has such a negative connotation to it. We cannot underestimate the problem that the dropout rate creates for the Hispanic community. I tend to believe that nothing more hurts the economic aspirations and the political aspirations of the Hispanic community when students don't even finish high school.
Mm-hmm. Did you enjoy watching the movie Stand and Deliver?
I've seen parts of it, and it's really interesting. I think more interesting is seeing Jaime Escalante speak in person and seeing the energy that he gives to the audience, that he gives to the people watching him. He is an incredible person, and
it's truly an inspiration.
Yes,
okay.
Definitely.
Let me ask you, you obviously are very successful students. Do you think other students have an opportunity to excel in school, or the motivation to excel, like yourself?
I think most of the students have the talent, but they aren't creating the opportunity. And you create the opportunity by just going out, instead of dreaming about it, defining some goals. Jaime Escalante did not tell his students to dream about passing the calculus exam. He told them that this should be a goal. We're going to work for the goal. So in essence, they were creating that opportunity for themselves to pass that exam. Mm-hmm. It took a lot of diligence. It took a lot of effort. They sacrificed a lot of Saturdays. But nevertheless, the opportunity was there the whole time for them to pass that exam, because Jaime Escalante made them believe in themselves and said, don't dream about it. It's your goal. And I think anybody who watched the movie realized that this is not a dream for the students. It was a reachable goal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What in your experiences does it take to get to the top of the class? Tell us about your own success.
I've learned from an early age that if you don't try, you won't succeed. There's no chance for you. So it's very important that you try, that you strive to meet those goals, those dreams, and no matter what people say, what people around you say, no matter how much negativism you receive from people, you still have to go for your goals. You have to have your mind set on them and go for them no matter what.
So you're very persistent.
Yes.
Okay, how about you, Raul?
I totally agree with everything that Jordan said. It's very important to have goals in the first place. And I think that the second thing is something that is my own personal philosophy, and that is diligence, persistence. Many times you will encounter failures, but you must not look at them as failures, but just a temporary setback, and get back on your feet and continue to persevere, continue to try to fulfill your goals. And I am a firm believer that with perseverance, at one time or another, you will get what you want, whether it be a job, an internship, the school of your choice, whatever be it. You got to create that opportunity.
I see. So one of the key things then is perseverance.
Yes.
Tell us more about your experience at Harvard. I know it must be hard competing with some of the best and brightest students across the nation.
Well, that's the first thing that I never tried to admit or accept. I think that I am capable of competing with them, and I think that, yes, many of the students do come from some of the top prep schools throughout the nation, Andover, Exeter, and I come from Fresno, California. A good school, prepared me well, but definitely never received the type of education that they received. Also, my parents never even finished high school, and the story is very similar for many Hispanics. But nevertheless, I think I bring something to the classroom, and I think that I add to the competitive factor by just being there, my presence there. I come from a different socioeconomic background, and so there are certain issues that I enlighten them, they enlighten me, and so even though I don't have the preparation, I still think that I gain a lot of respect just from the students because of the kind of frame of reference that my background provides me.
So in a sense, they're learning from you
as
well.
And at Harvard and at other institutions, I think the most important thing that you'll ever get out of it is the amount of education that you receive from your peers, instead of the professors, instead of from the teaching assistants, whatever it be it.
Okay, Jordan, now you're going to be entering USC this fall. What are your thoughts about competing with some of the most competitive students on campus there?
Well, like Raul said, you have to, you are a part of the student body. You can compete with them. You don't have to see yourself as an inferior just because you are Hispanic. There are a lot of people that I want to go into the field of journalism, and when I decided that that was my choice, that was what my dream was, a lot of people said, no, you only learned English in 1979. You can't do this. You don't know how to write well enough. You don't know how to express yourself well enough. And I said, no, I can do it. And I have gotten internships, and I will meet my goal.
See, and I understand you just received a scholarship from the California Chicano News Media Association?
Yes, I'm very happy about that.
That's great.
It's the Lee Framstead Memorial Scholarship, and it will help me a lot with my studies.
That's great. Great. Now, both of you can respond to this one. In the past, Hispanic students pursued careers in the service industry, such as teaching, social work. Is this still a trend, or is the trend changing?
Well, if the trend is changing, it's very incumbent upon all of us, especially persons like yourself who are involved in education, to once again reemphasize the importance that we enter the professions of education, social work, whatever be it. It goes back to my earlier point that we must take control of our own community instead of relying on outside sources. Jaime Escalante took control of his class, and the result were remarkable.
Do you see students, though, pursuing broader ranges of careers?
If we're talking about Hispanic students,
yes.
no. And at Harvard, most of my peers who are Hispanic, Chicano, Cubano, Puerto Riqueño, pursue careers that are kind of glamorous, i.e. doctors and lawyers. And I think the reason they do that is because most of them come from families where the parents aren't educated, and they feel such a responsibility to pursue such a career that will give